It was said by one of old, to those who were about to stone, as evil, a woman taken in the act of committing one of the darkest sins, "He that is without sin, let him cast the first stone." And though he who said it was without sin, yet he took up no stone, nor passed any bitter judgment, but said, with infinite gentleness and compassion, "Neither do I condemn thee. Go, and sin no more." In the pure heart, there is no room left where personal judgments and hatreds can find lodgment, for it is filled to overflowing with tenderness and love. It sees no evil, and only as men succeed in seeing no evil in others will they become free from sin and sorrow and suffering. No man sees evil in himself or his own acts except the man who is becoming enlightened, and then he abandons those acts which he has come to see are wrong. Every man justifies himself in what he does, and however evil others may regard his conduct, he himself thinks it to be good and necessary. If he did not, he would not and could not do it. The angry man always justifies his anger, the covetous man his greed, the impure man his unchastity. The liar considers that his lying is altogether necessary. The slanderer believes that, in vilifying the characters of those whom he dislikes, and warning other people against their evil natures, he is doing well. The thief is convinced that stealing is the shortest and best way to plenty, prosperity, and happiness, and even the murderer thinks there is a ground of justification for his deed. Every man's deeds are in accordance with the measure of his own light or darkness, and no man can live higher than he is or act beyond the limits of his knowledge. Nevertheless, he can improve himself, and thereby gradually increase his light and extend the range of his knowledge. The angry man indulges in abuse because his knowledge does not extend to forbearance and patience. Not having practiced gentleness, he does not understand it and cannot choose it, nor can he know, by its comparison with the light of gentleness, the darkness of anger. It is the same with the liar, the slanderer, and the thief. He lives in this dark condition of mind and action because he is limited to it by his own immature knowledge and experience, because never having lived in the higher conditions, he has no knowledge of them, and it is, to him, as if they were non-existent. The light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. Nor can he understand even the conditions in which he is living, because being dark, they are necessarily devoid of all knowledge. When a man is driven by repeated sufferings to at last reflect upon his conduct, and comes to see that his anger or lying, or whatever ignorant condition he may have been living in, is productive only of trouble and sorrow, he then abandons it, and commences to search for and practice the opposite and enlightened condition. And when he is firmly established in the better way, so that his knowledge of both conditions is complete, then he realizes in what great darkness he has formerly lived. This knowledge of good and evil by experience constitutes enlightenment. When a man begins to look, as it were, through the eyes of others, and to measure them by their own standard and not by his, then he ceases from seeing of evil in others, for he knows that every man's perception and standard of good and evil is different, that there is no vice so low but some men regard it as good, no virtue so high but some men regard it as evil, and what a man regards as good that to him is good, what he regards as evil that to him is evil. Nor will the purified man, who has ceased to see evil in others, have any desire to win men to his own ways or opinions, but will rather help them in their own particular groove, knowing that an enlarged experience only, and not merely change of opinion, can lead to higher knowledge and greater blessedness. It will be found that men see evil in those who differ from them, good in those who agree with them. The man who greatly loves himself and is enamored of his opinions will love all those who agree with him, and will dislike all those who disagree with him. If ye love them that ye love ye, what reward have ye? Love your enemies, do good to them that hate you. Egotism and vanity make men blind. Men of opposing religious views hate and persecute each other. Men of opposing political views fight and condemn each other. The partisan measures all men by his own standard, and sets up his judgments accordingly. So convinced is he that he is right and others wrong, that he at last persuades himself that to inflict cruelty on others is both good and necessary, in order to coerce them into his way of thinking and acting, and so bring them to the right, his right, against their own reason and will. Men hate, condemn, resist, and inflict suffering upon each other, not because they are intrinsically evil, not because they are deliberately wicked, and are doing, in the full light of truth, what they know to be wrong, but because they regard such conduct as necessary and right,